Today I've got a pretty cool topic for you. 10 habits that can completely change your trading in 2023. Let's dive right in. Alright, so we're already in February now, but if you're not happy with your results in trading so far, or if you want to have even better results this year, these habits are going to help, I believe, to help you become much better and turn your results around if you had bad results so far. As always, timestamp will be below, so you can directly skip to the habits you need and find what you need from this video. But I recommend you pay attention to all of them because they will all be as good, and all things I use and things I've tried or tested over the years that made a big difference for my own trading. Alright, so habit number 1 is only trade what you know. And you've heard this multiple times, I'm sure, but how many times do you find a strategy online and then you start to trade it right away in the market? You find something you like, a new concept that sounds good to you, then you go in the market, try this out, take a few trades, see if it makes sense or not, see if you win or not in the market, and then you kind of drop it or keep it or somewhere in between. Now, that's not something you know, that's something you've heard about, it's a concept maybe you've seen on YouTube, but it's not something you really know. It's not something you master. The more you trade strategies that you master, the better trading will get, because then you will know when the strategy falls short, what is performing better, what things you could do to make it work, what are some things that prevent it from working well in the market, and you'll be able to kind of overcome these drawdowns because you'll know the stats and you'll understand what's behind the strategy, like what's the logic behind it. If you pick a strategy online somewhere, it's very hard to believe in it and actually know the stats behind it, and also know like when it works, when it doesn't work, and how do you best use it. This is why two traders with the same strategy could have completely different results. One will know the structure behind it, will understand it, will be a master at it. The other one will just take trades because they see it in the market without having all the context and the rules behind them. And that's very crucial. Habit number 2 is to train your eyes on the chart every day. And by training your eyes, I don't mean taking trades. I mean looking at the chart in a way where you can see how the market evolves. You can observe the market. Now, too many times we just take trades. We're at the charts because we want to enter a trade. We want to make some money as soon as possible, but we forget that a lot of trading is in our brain. If we train our eyes and our brain to see patterns, it's going to be a lot better and a lot easier to spot them. But for this, you got to go back sometimes on the chart, you got to look at the market, or you got to look at even today's market, look at your chart and think, what would I do here? What would be something I want to focus on? Where would I enter in this market? As opposed to just, okay, so where's my setup now? Where can I enter the market? It's more about thinking, like the process behind it, and looking at the chart in the way we observe things happening. You might see a pattern that's completely weird. You're used to trading breakout one way, but that breakout happens a different way, or this happened your way. Now, observe why is that? What are some ways you could have cut that breakout? And sometimes it helps even for myself to go back on charts I don't know. Like go to a random currency pair, could be like a very exotic pair, even like the Thai baht sometimes for fun. It could be a currency you have no idea about, and you just kind of look at the chart for fun to kind of train your mind to see different patterns and train yourself to spot these patterns better in the market in the future. Because placing trade is such a small part of being a good trader. A lot of it comes down to your brain, comes down to finding the right patterns, comes down to being able to spot things live in the market, comes down to being able to take trades after even if you've lost in the past. And that's why training your eyes in the chart can be a very good thing to do. Now, speaking of which, habit number 3 is having a goal weekly or monthly. And that means every week when you go back in the market for your trading week, you should have a clear goal of what you want to improve, what you want to work on. Like, this is not a money goal. It's not, oh, I want to make $500 this week, or I want to make $10,000 this week. It's more about a process goal. What do you want to improve in your trading? What is something that needs to be changed? For example, this week I might want to work on being more consistent with my reviews of the charts. So I might have missed a couple of times last week. This week I want to make sure I have at least my 4 reviews of the chart today. I want to make sure I have at least 3 out of 4 done. Or 4 out of 4 on, let's say, 4 days of the week. Now you can track that goal and get a good measure on that, see if you're doing it well or not. And next week you set a new goal. Now, how tough is it to improve if you do that, right? How difficult would it be to become better by doing this? It's actually pretty simple. It's actually very straightforward. If you have a goal and you spend time and energy to work on it, you're going to get better. That's inevitable. But too often we just get back in the week, we kind of take trades, we forget about our goals, we forget about what we're working on, what needs some attention in our trading, and we forget the bigger picture. And that's why having a goal weekly and also monthly, a bigger team perhaps, can be very useful. My weekly goal this week could be, I don't want to overtrade. I want to just respect my plan. That's my weekly goal this week. My monthly goal could be something like, I want to be able to stick to one strategy for long term. So that's my monthly goal. And then you kind of have smaller goals in between to help you do that. So you decide how you do it. I know guys will only have a weekly goal. I know guys will only have a monthly goal. It depends what works for you. But having these small process goals is very key to improve in any kind of trading. Habit number 4 is only focus on one book or one course at a time. Now, I see many students who are impulsive course buyers. They like to buy a course, they kind of go through it for a couple of weeks, they don't finish it yet, they buy a new one because it sounds interesting, then they buy the next course and they buy this book, then they read this at the same time, and they are also confused by all this information out there that they cannot focus on anything else. They cannot trade something in the market because they're always in learning mode with all these different tools. And the day one trader says, oh, you should do this, and then the other one says, oh, you should do it the other way instead, then they're confused. Then they get stuck there. Then you go back to one, ask why you do this, then you go back to the other one, why you do this, and they just kind of get results from there. So having only one course or one book at a time you read, let's say this week you're reading Trading in the Zone. That's your book of the week or your book of the month. You read that book, you take notes of it, so you take lessons from it to use in the market, and then it becomes much better to improve. But if you just have all these things you're following, you have a book on strategies, a book on mindset, a book on this, a book on that, then the course you're following on the side, then you're doing this and that at the same time, it's very difficult to improve. So I know there's a lot of benefits to having different sources sometimes, but not when you want to get better at something. So pick your book, pick your course, doesn't matter who it is, focus on it until you complete it, take lessons from it, and use it for your own trading in the market. Then if you need something else later on, then go get something else. That's fine. But not at the same time to just confuse yourself even more. I already mentioned this, but habit number 5 here, which is a big one, is implement what you learn. A lot of people are looking at trading as a way to learn, and they love to catch all the information, all the knowledge out there. They believe knowledge is power. Therefore, the more they learn, the more they'll get money or make money. But it's completely the opposite. The more you learn, the more confused you can get. You don't make more money because you know all these tools, all these indicators. You actually make more money because you simplify things. You focus on just one aspect of trading. You implement it, you get results, then you focus on the other aspect. The more focused you are on something, the better results you can get. The more all over the place you are, the less results you get. I know guys who've been learning with me for many, many years, and they took my course, they went through everything, they got a lot of value out of it, they're happy with it, but they never press a button to trade. They're never in the market. They're still learning. They say, one day I'll get in the market, one day I'll backtest, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that, but they never actually do it. And they're kind of getting courses everywhere. They're learning different things, but they never implement it. So that's a big lesson here. Is being able to take what you learn, but use it in a productive way, not just in a way to scatter your brain or kind of cloud your thinking more. Okay, I've covered a lot, but habit number 6, and we're getting to the good stuff here. Habit number 6 is connecting with traders weekly. Now, I've seen a big impact on my own trading. The sort of hack that changed my trading around was connecting with traders every week. You know the quote by Jim Rohn, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So people around you will dictate your future. They will help you get somewhere or help you get backward, but it depends who you're around. So I started back in 2015 or so to just connect with traders, send different emails to people that I want to connect with, go to different meetups in my own city of traders, and kind of talk with people who are doing what I want to do in the future. I asked them questions, I got their feedback, I would kind of just be around them to kind of improve my mindset sometimes, and those helped me a lot to succeed. Now, you don't have to do it the same way exactly if you don't want to, but at least try to connect with people. Send different emails to people you know. Try to find traders in your own city if you can. Try to reach out to people, send some emails. Worst thing can happen is they say no, and then you're just back as square one you were before. So it's no worries there. But you'd be surprised that if you don't just ask, like you provide some value a little bit, you connect with them on a friend level, there could be some good things out there coming. There could be some people who are happy to share what they know, happy to help you out a little bit, and kind of get you to become much better. But you got to do the work, and you got to reach out to people, and you got to make it a habit to connect with people each and every week. That's very important. Habit number 7 for the year is be cool with your mistakes. Now, sometimes we make mistakes in trading, and the worst thing we can do is kind of get down on ourselves. Say, oh, I'm never going to make it. It's never going to work. I'm never going to be a good trader. I'm stuck here. It sucks. Instead, you kind of be cool with yourself. Say, this is a mistake. It's fine. I'll get back on track after. Let's be gentle here. Let's be all right. And next time we go back in the market, I'll do this and this differently. And I'll be good to not make that mistake again. See how that changed from being tough on yourself and being cool with your mistakes. Mistakes happen. Sure, you can prevent it next time, but there's nothing we can do about the past. And we got to be okay with it to then be able to perform better in the future. Who do you think performs better? The person who's encouraged to work hard, encouraged to do work, or the person who's kind of beat down when they do something wrong and they kind of don't get any encouragement, right? It's pretty clear. The one who's encouraged, who's motivated, whose maybe mentors are cool with their mistakes, but they help them to kind of turn it around. These guys will get much better results. And that's the same thing with your own trading. Because you're the only one kind of managing yourself, you should be cool with your mistakes and learn to proceed from there. This is still one of my big focus this year. Habit number 8, I feel like it's for me, but I prefer and I would rather start with a clean chart every month. Sometimes with our own analysis, we have some zones in the market we look at, we have some things we want to pay attention to, some trends we have to be careful about, or some like big levels that are opening on like bigger time frames. We need to be careful of those. But I found that the more you add stuff and the more you keep your old stuff on the chart, the more kind of confused you get sometimes. The more kind of scattered, the less clear it gets. So having a clean chart every month, I just take off everything from my chart every month. I go back to all the stuff again from the start and just kind of get a clearer picture then. I found out my best weeks in trading are weeks where I have a clean chart first. I go from clean to putting my stuff on it, then kind of trading it right away. Those are usually my best weeks. I'm a lot more clear on what's happening. I'm more kind of careful. I'm more aware of stuff. And I don't want to do this every week because it takes time, but at least every month, it's a good way to kind of reset everything, go back from scratch, and then do things right again the next time. So if you get confused with your charts, think about having a clean chart every month. Could be a good thing. Okay, we're getting to the big stuff here. Habit number 9 was something I've really got a lot of results from in the past few years, was making a graduation plan. Now, graduation plan is a term that Michael Tama uses. Michael Tama is one of my good friend, good trader as well. He's managing a big fund. And he's really kind of the one who introduced me to that topic of having a plan on how you're going to graduate. Now, you could call this a growth plan. You could call this so many ways, but I like the term he uses, which is graduation plan. You kind of graduate in size. So you go from a level where maybe you have no strategy, you're learning something, then maybe you backtest it, then maybe you go demo, then maybe you go live, then you go, and then you have to scale up your live account to bigger amounts. So we need to kind of break this down into different increments. And then we need to have rewards from each of them. So as we kind of finish those, we have a reward. We have a way to celebrate things. And as we increase, we put a bit more money in the line. Then we put a bit more size. Then we kind of increase our account that way. So I'll put a video over here when Michael discusses that, and you can watch it after if you want to. It's a good way to stay motivated, stay on track, and not kind of fall short of the things you plan for yourself to do. Really cool way to improve your trading. I have this plan on my desk usually or somewhere around me, and also a digital version to kind of keep track of. And every time I do a step that I was supposed to do, let's say it could be implementing my algo, could be a new set of backtesting for the algo, I'll check it off, then I'll go to the next step. And usually whenever I complete something big, I'm allowed to increase my account size to adding another chunk of capital into it. So the more I check things off on my list, the more capital I get to trade, which is a good thing. And also I'm able to celebrate things along the way and kind of see my progression over time, which is very crucial. Because sometimes we get better, we do things, but we forget what we did. And it's kind of hard when you go back to see, oh, I did all these things. I worked really hard on that. But we forget that when we have no way to track it. Okay, number 10 should be a rule that every trader follow. And I think that's probably the most important one. But I gotta explain it in details for you. Only risk money you're comfortable with. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, well, I've heard this everywhere, of course. Everyone says that. Only risk money you're comfortable losing. And the goal of trading should not be to lose money. The goal of trading should be to make money and to risk money to make money in the future. Not to just like put money in the market to lose it. So I think that saying is dumb. But the way I'm seeing it is you should only put money in a trade where you're comfortable to lose it on any given trade. So if you feel like you get in the market, you risk $50, that's too much for you, bring this down. Bring this down to $10 or $20 or whatever. If $20 is too much, bring it down to $10. I know traders who are comfortable losing only $3 per trade, therefore they risk $3 per trade. They find if they lose $3, it doesn't matter to them. It's price of a coffee. And so then it's fine for them. No big deal. They could lose this every day instead of spending it on coffee. They don't care. Find the amount you're comfortable losing, then risk that. And you find your discipline goes a lot higher. And I know as traders, we're trying to take shortcuts sometimes. We try to kind of get to that next size, next level faster by starting out with a big amount of money we risk per trade. It could even be like $50, which is not that high, but for some people, it might seem too high for them. And therefore, we start with this. Then you have discipline issues. We cannot follow our plan. We overtrade, or we miss some setups, we skip some trades because of that dollar amount we risk per trade. If you bring this down to a very comfortable amount, it's easy to follow a plan. It's just $3. Who cares? Or just like even $1. Who cares? Like I said, it's price of a coffee or like even a beer sometimes in different countries. Who cares about that? If you lose that $3. If you have a losing week, lose a trade every day, who cares? Like it's the price of a small meal, perhaps, right? So who cares about that? You could have just cook home and then you save that money. That's kind of what we're doing here. So we're risking money we're comfortable with, and that makes sure that we can follow a plan better. And as we get more comfortable with this, we're never gonna just risk $3. It's stupid, right? Of course, you're not gonna make any living from this. So as we go and be more comfortable with it, we understand we can actually make money with this and we can trade it well over time. We'll slowly increase that amount from $3 to $10, maybe 10 to 20, maybe it's like 20 to 50. Then you get to a place where you're risking pretty good money. And you can actually make a pretty good amount every month from trading. And then you get to 100, 200, 300, and so on over time, of course, over a long period of time. And then the money stack up. Then that $3 you started with seems like nothing. It's stupid, of course. But now you're in a place where you're able to mentally accept losing $300 or $400 or even $1,000 per trade. Now it takes a while to get there. I'm not saying it's a straight line. Sometimes you're gonna have to go. Then when you get to 500, it feels uncomfortable. You have to go back to 300 for a while to kind of get used to it more. Then you're gonna increase to 400. Then you can go back sometimes to different amounts. It's never gonna be a straight line, but it's the way to progress. So being able to reverse that money comfortably is a big step into discipline and respecting your plan. Now, if you're considering scaling up your trading account to 6-7 figures in the next 3 months or so, as fast as 3 months, we've helped over 274 traders in our Ultimate Platform Trading Program. If you feel like you need more help this year to kind of scale things up or move to that next level, implement these habits properly and become a much better trader, trading on a 6 to 7 figure account. Check out the first link in the description. It's going to be the link to read the details of that program, how it works out. We have a discount on this right now for a couple of more days, but I'll let you go through this if you want to. Those were the 10 habits we talked about so far, and I hope you enjoyed them. Hope you got some value out of it, of course. Leave me your thoughts below in the comment section. Check out that first link for the details of how we can work together and help you to become a much better trader this year and level things up. And I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.